What is up, YouTube family? It is your girl GC the Trader, and we are back with another weekly recap, you guys. Hope y'all having an amazing day. Today is Saturday, February 7th, 2026, and I hope y'all had an amazing first week of February trading. Price action wasn't too bad this week, so that's what I'm going to be going over in today's video. The trades that I did catch this week. I'm not going to take up too much of you guys' time. It's the weekend. I know y'all busy, so let's get to this breakdown. Alright, you guys, as you can see, we are on the S&P 500 chart, which is just ES, and as you can see, this is minis, not micros. The first trade I caught was on Wednesday, and I was trading minis. The reason why I decided to trade minis is because I do have a $50,000 account, and I do have a $150,000 account, and I just feel like with minis, it'll better help me grow my $150,000 account, because I got to get that to $9,000 before I can $9,000 plus a little buffer so that I can request the payout. But it's kind of hard to do that on micros, even with trading 3 contracts sometimes. So what I added into my trading plan is if my zone is smaller than 16 ticks, which is about $200 trading minis S&P. If it's 16 ticks, then I'll go ahead and do minis. But if the contract is bigger than 16 ticks, if it's around 20 ticks, 25 ticks, then I'll go ahead and switch to micro and do my 3 contracts, because I'm trying to keep my risk for my $150,000 account under $200, no more than a $200 risk, and anything less than that would be great, of course. And of course, on my $50,000 account, I will only be trading micros on that account, and I'm only going to be trading gold on that account. So on my 50K account, I'm going to be trading micros, gold with supply and demand. And on my $150,000 account, I'll be trading minis or micros, and I'll be doing break and retest on that one with break and retest on dang, I had a brain fart. Break and retest on ES S&P. So I'll be doing that, and also, if break and retest doesn't end up playing out for the trade session, we always, go to our old faithful, which is supply and demand, to see if we can catch a setup for that day. So I just wanted to explain that to you guys before I got started, because you are going to see me switch from the S&P minis to the micros S&P. So I just want to let y'all know. So let's get into Wednesday's trade. That was the 4th. As you see, as you can see, my apologies, y'all. As you can see, we came in, had our zone right here marked up, which was from our 8 to 8:15. Let me drop down to my 1 minute so y'all can see my entry. All right. There we go. So let me extend this out so y'all can see this a little better. So you can see, I know it may be a little hard for y'all to see just by how I have my background for my trading view, but sometimes that dark background really be messing with my eyes. So I went for a lighter one. So as you can see, you guys, I'm trying to see. Okay, I got in right here. There we go. Let me make sure. There we go. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to make sure I'm connected to my paper account so that y'all can see the trades that I actually took where I entered and exit. Okay, you guys. So I noticed when I came into Wednesday session that price did break up to the upside, then price broke down to the downside. It stayed down here into that New York market open. Once we got that open at 9:30, price came to retest it, dropped back down. I did not take this trade, even though it played out beautifully. Hit full TP in 2 minutes. But I did not take this trade because I did not know exactly where price was trying to go in that moment. We did have a break to the upside, and we did have a break to the downside. And each break, we was respecting the midpoint. See, we broke up, respected the midpoint, We broke down, respected the midpoint. So I just really, honest and truly, in that moment, did not know where price wanted to go, and of course, all three of my EMAs was flat at the time. So I waited to see what price wanted to do at that 9:30 open. It showed me that it wanted to break to the downside. I was like, all right, if price comes back up and give me the retest, I'm going to enter in and take it. And as you can see, we came and got the retest. We got some wick. It wicked us into the trade. I entered in. We got a little drop to my TP, but then other than that, price just completely reversed, and within 2 minutes knocked me out of the trade, and I took a $200 loss. You guys, I'm gonna put my P&L right here on the side so y'all can see. But yeah, we took a $200 loss. This was Wednesday, so on Wednesdays I am strictly one trade only, walk away. So I decided to take this $200 L and call it a day, you guys. As you can see, we had the right idea. It was just the wrong timing. So as you can see, what ended up happening right here was price wicked to the upside. Invalidated a few zones up there, if I'm not mistaken. Because if I'm not mistaken, it was two supply zones that was right up here on my 5 minute. So price invalidated this supply zone right there, and then invalidated another supply zone. And as you can see, it was headed to this supply zone that I have marked up right there. But I was trying to get into a trade before red news at 10 a.m., which was 9 a.m. my time. And as you can see, it did not end up happening for me. Price did end up going where I wanted it to go. But it was after I had already took a loss. So if I would have waited for this move right here, this was a perfect move. Break to the downside, retested my midpoint, and dropped down. And all of this was accomplished before that red news folders, which is what I wanted to do. I actually seen this move forming, and I could have hopped in. But as I stated, you guys, on Wednesdays, I strictly stick to one trade, and I decided to walk away after that loss, you guys. So that was Wednesday's trade. Um, Let me go to the next trade, which was on Thursday. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. It wasn't on minis. It was on micro. So let me go to micro. Excuse me. Let me go to micro. Okay. All right. There we go, you guys. So as you can see, this is Thursday, and on Thursdays, I try to keep it one trade, but if I do end up taking a loss and I see another buy or sell opportunity that's happening that's still within my trading window and I'm confident enough about it, I will take the trade. And I don't know if y'all remember in the past videos that I said starting in February that I was going to start taking more trades, just like max two. And yeah, it's February, so I decided to add 1 to 2 trades to my trading plan. Also to February 2nd, I made a full year of day trading, you guys. Like, I made a full official year starting February 2nd, 2025. I started to learn how to trade. April 2025, I went live officially trading. I back tested and paper traded for probably about 4 months, and then finally got me a funded account. And I'm excuse me, guys, in the process of building up my live account at the moment, you guys. So yeah, I made a full year day trading and going after this skill. So I also too wanted to start taking a little bit more risk going into my full year of trading, you guys. So on Thursday, we did take 2 trades, as you can see. I marked up my zone. It was a nice size zone, so I decided to not trade minis. I decided to drop down to micros, because if I'm not mistaken, I think this zone was like over 40 ticks. So that's a little bit too big for my blood on trading minis at 40 ticks. So yeah, I switched to micros for Thursday's trade, you guys. So yeah, let me show you how this trade played out. So as you can see, coming into the market, I noticed price doing the same thing that it did on Wednesday, breaking to the upside and breaking to the downside. Right before the market opened, we did have a lot more bearish momentum coming in. So once we got the tap, and the tap was like 10 minutes after the market opened. So once we got that tap, I did enter in. As you can see that we got a nice push to the downside, which I was like, okay, cool. You know, everything's looking good. Everything's playing out. And then after this move, it gave me a minor retracement back in the direction of my TP, and then just shot up and knocked me out of the trade. I'm gonna put my P&L right here on the screen, but if I'm not mistaken, I think the loss was like $150 something, if I'm not mistaken. And then I end up waiting to see, because after price ended up stopping me out, I noticed that it was dropping to a key level. So coming into this trade, this is where I had a key level at, and I noticed price drop below this key level, and I also noticed price giving me a supply zone above the key level. So I marked out that supply zone, and I was like, okay, great. And then once price tapped into that supply zone and started to drop, I saw price giving me another supply zone. So I decided to wait for price to retest this zone, because this zone will be more so below the key level, which will give me more confirmation to sell. So once price came into and tapped into my zone, I entered at, if I'm not mistaken, right here. This is where I entered at. Let me see. Yeah, I think this is the spot I entered in. I don't think I entered any further than what I have on my chart. Yeah. So I end up entering. The reason why it's kind of hard for me to remember, you guys, is because this move happened so quickly that I couldn't take the trade on my paper account. I was only able to take the trade on my funded account, you guys. So let me look to see exactly what price point I end up getting in. I got in at, okay, I got in at 68.26. So we're at 68.26. So yeah, I got in roughly around this area. I think it was probably like one or two ticks below where you actually see it on my trading view, you guys. But yeah, I end up getting in, risking the same amount, 3 contracts that equaled up to $150, going for my same ratio of $450, if I'm not mistaken. I was going for a 1 to 3, and as you can see, price did beautifully. I got my retest. I entered into the trade. I waited for this pullback. Once I got this pullback, I waited. And then once price dropped again, I adjusted my stop loss probably to above this supply zone right here. And then once I got an official pullback, that's when I decided to close out 2 contracts. And I closed out 2 contracts when price broke underneath another key level. We had another key level right here, you guys, if I'm not mistaken. We had another key level right here. And once price broke past that key level for the second time, that's when I decided to close out 2 contracts. And I think I closed out those contracts at like a 1.5 ratio. And then end up bringing my third contract to about $40 in profit. I didn't mind, risking losing a little bit more profit to get to full TP. But as you can see, price eventually came up and stopped us out of the trade. Yeah, I took a loss on breaking retest. End up catching a nice supply and demand slash ICC. This is technically ICC concept as well. We got our break past the key level. Price came to retest the zone that we broke from and then continued. I could have entered on that continuation, but I wanted to wait for the retest of supply and demand because I mainly trade the supply and demand with ICC concept in mind, not just ICC by itself. But I always try to have, if I see an ICC trade, to always try to look for supply and demand confluence to go with it and not just, trade that all by itself. You get what I'm saying, you guys? But yeah, as you can see, I don't know if price did ever hit full TP. Like, nah, it eventually ended up retracing back up and going to the upside. So we wouldn't have achieved full TP with this trade, but I am glad that I took, and I'm gonna put my P&L back up here again so y'all could better see it. But I'm just glad that I took this trade because I've been trying to work on, even though I take a L, keep my mind together, keep my head focused, and be able to come back and catch a better setup and make my money back and possibly make some more. So I think on this trade, I end up walking away with $188. So they end up canceling out that $150 loss that I end up taking, and ended up putting me in profit like $31 for the day. So Thursday ended up a red day, but we ended up trading smarter and better, caught a banger supply setup, and end up knocking out that loss and ending the day a little bit over break even with a green, you guys. So I was really happy about this trade day. And if I'm not mistaken, we did catch a setup on Friday, you guys. So this is the next trade day. I did trade micros Friday as well because my zone was big again. But crazy thing is I could have traded minis because when price did knock me into the trade, price didn't even drop 8 ticks. Like, I think it probably only dropped like 6 ticks. So that would have been like not even $100, because $100 in minis is like 8 ticks, and it didn't even drop 8 ticks. It dropped 6 ticks. So I really could have traded minis for this trade, risking 16 ticks for 48 ticks, which is a 3-to-1. But because of how big my zone was, I did want to give it a little bit more wiggle room. It was Friday, so I did switch to micros, 3 contracts, risking $150. No, I did a lighter risk. I think my 3 contracts ended up being like $93. If I would have took a full loss, it would have ended up being like $93 that I was risking. So yeah, as you can see, this trade played out beautifully. I think I got into this trade at 8:30, which is 9:30 New York, and then I was out of the trade in 2 minutes and 30 something seconds. So this was literally one of the fastest trades I got in that hit TP the way it did. The reason why I decided to go with a more aggressive entry, I'm gonna show y'all. The reason why I decided to go with a more aggressive entry is, as you can see, as soon as this zone formed at 8 a.m., price just showed I'm gonna respect this midpoint beautifully. As you can see, we got a tap, no candle close, shot up, stayed above my zone, got another tap, no candle close, shot up, stayed above my zone. It got close again, retraced, got close again, retraced. So I was just like, oh yeah, they're respecting the hell out this midpoint, and I had a feeling it was going to be aggressive entry. So I decided to get in aggressively. Let me drop back down to my 1 minute so y'all can better see. So yeah, I decided to get in aggressively with this trade, you guys, and as you can see, it played out beautifully. It tapped me in, barely had any drawdown, and that's literally all she wrote. I was thinking about leaving a runner and closing out full TP on that third contract at this key level, but it's Friday, you guys. I did not want to be greedy, so I said, hey, I'm gonna close all 3 contracts at my full TP of a 3-to-1. But as you can see, you guys, she ran and went up beautifully. If I'm not mistaken, I think this was like 300 and something ticks that ES ran for. So yeah, I definitely could have left a runner and ended up taking home a little bit more profit on that trade. But like I said, I wasn't trying to be greedy, you guys. It was Friday. I wasn't trying to be looking at the charts all day, anyways. So hey, I was happy with walking away um, with what I did make on this trade. I caught the beginning of this nice bullish momentum push, and I'm alright with that. I'm not even gonna be upset. So gonna put my P&L for this trade, and also gonna put my full P&L calendar so you can see the money that we did make this week. You guys, we was able to walk away from this trade. I think it was like $281, and after taxes and fees, commission and shit, that I end up walking away with like $277 for this trade. So I definitely knocked out all of my losses for the week and was able to end the week in profit, and also in profit for the month. So I was very, very happy about that. you know like I said, this was a solid week of trading. The first week of February, good price action. um I've noticed ES has been respecting supply and demand a lot more lately. So that's always good. With the break and retest, uh ES has been doing great at respecting that, and also ES does great with respecting ICC. So it's just like the strategies that I do trade and use for confluences, like they've been showing up beautifully in ES. So I can't complain. I'm ready to see what the rest of February has to hold, and yeah, I'm cool with the two L's and two W's that we did catch for the week, you guys. So yeah, that's it for today's trade breakdown. I hope y'all was able to make some money this week. I hope y'all had a nice, solid first week of February trading like I did. And if you didn't, you would already know how to reset and get our mind focused and get prepared for the next week ahead. So with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for sitting down and chopping it up with me, and reviewing the trades with me. And I love y'all. I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. And until next time, your girl GC the Trader is out.